Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Elizabeth Yomanthas, and today I'm going to be talking with you about financial literacy among young people in the United States. Before we jump in, just a little bit about me. I am a college professor at Pepperdine University, which is in California, in the United States. So you can see the little dot on the map right here. We're on the West Coast, and our school is very close to the beach. So we have very nice views of the Pacific Ocean. So thank you for having me today, and I'm excited to jump in. So here are the topics that we'll be talking about today. We'll be talking about financial literacy in younger Americans, budgeting and expense management, savings, insurance, and risk management, taxes, debt, and a few other topics at the end. So first, just a short introduction to financial literacy. So who we're talking about is financial literacy amongst young people in the United States. So how we're defining young people is Generation Z. They're also called iGen, and they're also called Zoomers. And these are people who are 24 years and old and younger. And then above them, we have millennials, Gen Z, baby boomers, and the silent generation. But today we'll be focusing on Gen Z, the Zoomers, and iGen. They're all the same. So first, what is financial literacy? Personal finance and financial literacy are very important. However, many Americans generally struggle with personal finance. Research shows that Americans and Gen Z, they are improving though. Globally, the United States ranks 14th in the world for basic financial literacy in 2014, with only 57% of adults considered to be financially literate. So we still have a long way to go in becoming a very financial literate country. So let's talk a little bit about financial literacy with younger Americans. So unfortunately, personal finance is not taught in school as much as it should be. In 2020, only 21 out of 50 states, 42% require that high schools teach financial literacy. And only 25 out of 50 states, so 50%, require a high school economics class. Not that economics and personal finance are the same, but we just have very little attention in our curriculum to the topic of financial literacy. So when students are not getting this knowledge in school, they're having to get it from parents and family and friends. So it really should be added to our school curriculum. However, Gen Z is the most diverse and well-educated generation yet. Because they grew up with technology and the high influence of the internet and social media, they have all the skills to be financial literacy, but they don't have it totally figured out yet. And this is for a couple of reasons. They are getting support from their parents. So 46% have a parent or a family member paying for their housing costs. There's financial misconceptions. So 28% think young adults don't need to worry about investing for retirement. A lot of them have money anxiety. So the primary emotions of Gen Z feel when thinking about the current state of their personal finances are anxiousness, nervousness, and confusion, frustration, and self-consciousness. So they're not confident in the decisions that they're making. And they have spending regrets. So after they buy something, they have 72% have these regrets about something that they've purchased. And so a little bit about budgeting and expense management. So first, budgeting is a very important step to take where you lay out a plan for all of the money that you're bringing in and all of your expenses and figure out how you're going to spend each month. So 68% of iGen or Gen Z, they are using some budgeting on a monthly basis, which is very good. And they're doing it with paper and pen, old-fashioned way. They're doing it with budgeting apps and websites, and they are using bank-provided tools as well. Here are some of the popular apps that iGen and all real people really are using. The most two popular are Mint and You Need a Budget. And then thinking more about how Gen Z or how iGen came to be in this way. They grew up, these children who are now young adults grew up during the Great Recession. So they watch their parents, have to save, be very cautious on their spending, not be able to save a lot of money, be very frugal as the recession was happening. So they grew up in these highly budgeted households. And now with the COVID-19 pandemic, the youth are realizing that, sometimes we lose jobs and careers and savings and small businesses. So they're going to be increasingly cost conscious. So they're very focused on saving more and getting a great value for their expenses. So they're thinking about saving for retirement, accumulating emergency savings accounts, trying to graduate college with as little debt as possible, and comparison shopping for the best deals, which is very easy nowadays due to the online format. Digital native lifestyle has given them the ability to pivot. So as new things change, because they're so used to things changing constantly with technology, they're able to make changes. And they also have tools that they have in their youth that older generations didn't have in their youth. So for Gen Z, they're really all about, they want to do online banking. They'd rather use an online bank than a brick and mortar bank, so than an in-person bank. And they like to do a lot of peer-to-peer transactions. So using Venmo, using PayPal, using apps where you can just send cash to people with just the click of a button. And in their consumerism, they want the payment side of things to be easy and seamless and use digital technology. So the main things that Gen Z's top expenses are housing, utilities, food, healthcare, and transportation. So a little bit about savings, insurance, and risk management. So the first thing that we want to think about is creating an emergency fund. And that's a fund that you have so that when you are in a situation where you have a big expense you didn't anticipate, like your car breaks down or your house floods, things like that, that you have money to pay for those expenses. 50% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, meaning that they earn just enough money to pay their bills each month with nothing left over. And 40% of adults in the United States wouldn't be able to cover a $400 emergency with cash, savings, or a credit card that they could quickly pay off. So this is something that Gen Z really needs to work on, is being able to have this emergency fund and have funds that they can rely on. Here are some of their goals for how they want to save for their futures. And then we also have retirement planning. And so it's important to start investing early and saving up for your retirement. Even though it's a long way away, we need to start saving early. In the United States, we have a government-sponsored retirement program called Social Security. And then we also have a number of other private ones, such as a 401k, a 403b, an IRA, or employer-provided pension plans. And so 88% of millennials and Gen Z are actively saving money on a monthly basis, which is very good. And 73% are contributing at least 3% of their monthly salary to their retirement savings plan. So that's good. So they're already thinking about retirement, even though it's a long way off. These are the things that Gen Z needs insurance for. So health, home insurance, renter's insurance, auto insurance, life, ID, and then ID theft. Okay, taxes. So in the United States, we have 4 components to our income taxes: federal, state, Social Security, and Medicare. Taxes are paid during the year as you earn income, and then they're filed with the government at the end of the year. And so what we're finding out is that most Gen Z Americans are actually not that well educated on their personal tax situation. 62% are not filing their own taxes. Their parents are filing them for them, and less than half have been taught about taxes. And then in terms of debt, this is a growing issue for many Americans. We have the average Gen Z has about $10,942 in non-mortgage debt, and the average millennial has about $27,000 in non-mortgage debt. So some reasons that people have non-mortgage debt are credit cards, student loans, car loans, and home loans. So 30% of Gen Z have credit card debt, with an average debt broken down by generation as listed here below. So we can see here that the average Gen Z person has almost $2,000 in debt, which is very high, considering they're probably not making that much money as they're in school or just beginning their careers or things like that. We also have a student loan crisis right now in the United States. The cost of education is rising. The United States has $1.6 trillion in debt and student loan debt collectively. The average student debt loan is $38,000 per person. And Gen Z, the average debt is $17,000. And so 27% of Gen Z have some student loan debt, and 14% of adults are carrying student loan debt. So quickly, just a few other topics. Gen Z is all about crowdfunding. So using GoFundMe, Kickstarter, Venmo, things like that to get funds from others around issues like rent, food, medical bills, education, fundraising, charity, memorials, burials, things like that. And then we also have cryptocurrency. And this popularity is centered around young people. 94% of crypto buyers are between 18 and 40. And there's a clear correlation. The older you are, the less likely you are to buy crypto. Entrepreneurs, we also have a lot of rising entrepreneurs. We have 54% of Gen Z indicated that they want to start their own company. And then we see that they want control, they want to live debt-free, they want to have a purposeful life, and they want to be good to the planet. Also, Gen Z and many other generations as well use many of these finance resources that are listed here below to get a financial education and to learn more about financial literacy. So thank you so much for your time. I hope that was a strong overview to financial literacy for young people in the United States. I enjoyed spending time with you, and here are the references. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much.